The war between Russia and Ukraine started in February 2014 when Russian soldiers secretly invaded Crimea, a part of Ukraine. The fighting grew in April 2014 when Russian forces along with the local supporters took control of areas in Ukraine's Donbas region. Over the following 7 years, more than 14,000 people lost their lives in the battles in eastern Ukraine. Asian guy with English try. Giving back 30% to charity from this channel. Kindly subscribe and support. Let's start the video. On February 24, 2022, Russians started a big attack on Ukraine. Even if Russian troops advanced quickly at first, Ukrainian defenders stopped them from taking Kyiv and other big cities. Soon after, Ukrainian soldiers started fighting back against the Russian forces. From November 2013 to late February 2014, people gathered on Independence Square in Kyiv in a series of protests. These protests had different parts and they ended with President Viktor Yanukovych being removed from power. This led to a violent movement for separation in the eastern parts of Ukraine. In late November 2013, Yanukovych said he was ready to sign a deal with the European Union. But the Europeans wanted him to let opposition leader Yulia out of jail and make some changes to the country's laws. After meeting with the Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow, Yanukovych decided not to sign the deal. Instead, it looked like Ukraine would join the Russian Economic Union, which is like a version of the EU led by Russia. It was supposed to start on January 1, 2015, with Kazakhstan and Belarus also joining. After Yanukovych's reversal, young protests mobilized through social media occupied field. Despite varying daily attendance, Sunday saw a massive crowd reaching 5 lakh at peak. Brigade police were initially deployed without major clashes, but a forceful attempt to clear the square on November 30 backfired, reinvigorating the protests. Putin's 15 billion loan offer and gas price reduction aimed to alleviate Ukraine's financial woes. Draconian anti-protest laws enacted on January 16, 2014 were repealed 12 days later, but bolstered demonstrators. Yanukovych's attempts to appease opposition leaders failed as they rejected government posts. The war between Ukraine and Russia has not ended yet due to multitude of factors, including the hesitation of both sides to concede territory, the fear of political consequences, and the need to maintain a strong defensive position. The United States, which has been providing military aid to Ukraine, has been focused on keeping Russia away from NATO rather than helping Ukraine win the war outright. Russia, on the other hand, has been unable to crush the Ukrainian army and its will to resist, leading to a protracted conflict. Furthermore, the war has become a political morass, with both sides holding back enough power to maintain their own defenses while launching occasional offensives. The tide of the war has shifted several times, with Ukraine making progress in 2022 but now focusing on reconstitution and digging in to defend against continued Russian attacks. Russia meanwhile is holding the territory it has seized and is focused on bringing about the subjugation of Ukraine. The war is unlikely to end in 2024 as neither side seems to have the capability to inflict a categorical defeat on the other. An important shift in external factors such as a change in Western weapons deliveries could potentially change the course of the war. However, as things stand, the war is likely to continue for the foreseeable future. The fighting in Ukraine has caused a lot of pain and fear for innocent people in both Ukraine and Russia. Many Ukrainians have had to leave their homes because of the violence, and the economy in Ukraine is getting worse. In Russia, some people don't agree with what their country is doing in Ukraine, especially younger people and those who get news from the internet. The war is hurting a lot of people and making divisions in both Ukraine and Russia. As of December 2023, Russia has lost 4,09,820 troops in the conflict, according to Ukraine's military. On the Ukrainian side, nearly 25,000 soldiers have been confirmed dead. with a total toll estimated at more than 30,000. Additionally, the UN Human Rights Monitoring Mission reported 30,457 civilian casualties in Ukraine since February 24, 2022, with 10,582 killed and 9,875 injured. The toll on Russia includes 315,000 Russian troops killed or wounded in Ukraine, representing almost 90% of its pre-war troops. These losses have been devastating for both countries, impacting military capabilities and civilian populations. Many countries support Ukraine in this war. Countries that have been providing military, financial and humanitarian aid to Ukraine in its conflict with Russia include the United States, most NATO members countries, the European Union and several other countries. The US has provided the most military assistance. European Union nations also helped them. The US and the EU have publicly taken a strict policy of no boots on the ground in Ukraine, but since the start of the invasion, the United States has increased the secret involvement of its special operations military and CIA operatives in the war. Several countries including Belarus, Iran, North Korea, Syria and Mali are backing Russia in its conflict with Ukraine. Belarus is allowing Russia to use its land and airspace. Iran is siding with Russia due to their mutual distrust of the West. And the USA has highlighted their growing military relationship. North Korea is supporting Russia and praising its actions. Russia sells weapons to Myanmar and has a military presence in Syria since 2015. Mali is also reported to have close ties with Russia. These countries provide various forms of support, such as diplomatic backing, military assistance, and ideological alignment. This backing helps Russia in its conflict with Ukraine and contributes to the dynamics of the ongoing crisis. We just pray and hope this war will end soon. Stay tuned for more updates. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.